America Meditating Radio Show, we collect wisdom, inspire each other, and empower hearts 24/7. Hi, I'm Sister Jenna. Join me and guest on Blog Talk Radio as we amplify stories that compel us to be more for ourselves and everyone else around us.
Meditating radio show, tuning to love as we grow. This is Margaret Placentra Johnston, author of Faith Beyond Belief, Stories of Good People Who Left Their Church Behind, and I just love listening to Sister Jenna's American Meditating Radio Show.
Take a break. Breathe. Why don't you visit the Peace Village Learning and Retreat Center, 518-589-5000.
I was 11 years old at my first national championship. I fell I don't know how many times.
Michelle Kwong is the most decorated figure skater in U.S. history.
But I had a dream. My dream came true because I dedicated myself.
Dedication made Michelle Kwong a champion.
I was passionate about something, and I made sure that I worked hard for it.
And dedication can make your dreams a reality.
Whatever your dream and goals are, they can come true.
Dedication. Pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at Values.com.
The Meditation Museum in Silver Spring, Maryland offers a variety of courses and activities to make your life go a whole lot smoother. Located at 9525 Georgia Avenue, you will be able to experience the beautiful silence that's in the space. There are courses in Raj Yoga meditation, positive thinking, stress-free living, and personal development classes. For more information, call us at 301-588-0144 or visit us online at meditationmuseum.org. Hello and welcome to America Meditating Radio. I'm your host, Sister Jenna. We're broadcasting from, the beautiful Meditation Museum. I hope 2016 is starting off in an auspicious level. I know I've been hearing some interesting stories. One of my very dear friends called yesterday. There was a fight in the office. This is happening, that's happening, and I just thought to myself, that means it's finishing. It's still a little rollover from 2015. It's just clearing out. Hold on tight. We're only a few days into the year. I hope you're doing exceptionally well and you're taking care of your most important resource, the power of your mind. My aim for 2016 is to build the vibration in my mind to such an extent that all you can feel from my presence is love, pure wishes, and good feelings. And it should reach such a point, my friends, that even I don't know what's going on with me. But when I see your smiling faces after I say hello, you're not remembering Adele. You're remembering something else. And so it's my wish that I work on myself beautifully, peacefully, lovingly, and celebrate it at the same token, where I can really appreciate the power of this thing called life. We're going to be speaking with Stephenie Zamora shortly, and Stephenie's going to be encouraging us about living a life of love and understanding the awesomeness of how to live a life that you can love and to be more full of. Before we get Stephenie on the air, why don't we do what we do best here? I'd like to play my Off the Grid Into the Heart meditation CD. We haven't heard that one in a long time. So why don't we take a deep breath, breathe in, and let's get off the grid, but amplify the quality of our hearts. Breathe in deeply. In this meditation, I invite you to become aware of the two types of consciousness that reside within the soul. Let us choose the consciousness of light over the darkness of past stories, the history that gets into our way. Let us now remember our connection to the Supreme Energy, the Supreme Soul, the being of light. For far too long, we have allowed the external forces to dictate our inner force. And at this time, I choose to to get off the grid and step inside the heart, to be myself. I choose to no longer be under the influence of what the world tells me, what my parents have told me, my spouse, friends, or anyone who has been a negative influence in my life. In this meditation, I stand strong in the original, eternal, imperishable worth of the soul. I, the being of light, the soul of power, I step into the heart, and I become a being of love, a being of light and goodness. Welcome back. That was Kristen Hoffman from Love and Gratitude, and I hope you enjoyed Off the Grid, Into the Heart meditation CD. For those of you who feel like I just want to run away, I just want to get away, but you can't, that's the meditation for you to play. Because we can. I mean, even if we try to run away, we come back to it. So it's just something within the soul that needs resilience. Let's turn the lines to our beautiful Sister Gita and find out what points of love or power she has for us that will take us into our zone. Sister Gita?
Good morning. Good day to you all. I trust you are beautiful. So from Companion of God by one of the world's favorite wisdom keeper, who is celebrating her 100th birthday, the topic is love. If your companion is God, then even if you are alone, you will never feel lonely. Happiness will be yours whether you are with other people or not. God's love produces a variety of such spiritual experience. It enables us to interact with love and cooperation. It makes us into sources of mutual inspiration. With worldly love, there is sometimes the concern that this is going to interfere with my career or studies. But love for the divine only enhances your ability to perform on all levels. That is, all levels. Very powerful point. Okay, beautiful souls, as we journey on this pilgrimage to recapture our beauty, lots of good wishes and pure feelings, as I'm reminded every day by Sister Gita, only love and good feelings will take you there. Thank you. Om Shanti.
So you actually listened. Thank you. Well, we're very happy to welcome Stephenie Zamora. She is the founder of Stephenie Zamora Media, a full-service life purpose development, branding, and online marketing boutique to help men and women build passion-based lives and businesses. Stephenie created her business with a simple philosophy that individuals who take personal responsibility for creating the lives and jobs they desire are happier and healthier, and they have a greater impact than those who don't. I believe that. She's also the author of Awesome Life Tips, 365 Tips for Living a Life You Love, and creator of My Awesome Life Mastery. Stephenie's articles have been featured in Huffington Post, Yahoo Shine, Positively Positive, and Brian Tracy International. Today we welcome Stephenie. Hi, welcome to the air.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. I love that you're really bringing positivity in business. I think it's so needed. I was telling a friend of mine who is in major top corporate that that's not going to last much longer. People need to be sustained at a spiritual level in order to produce in a company. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, absolutely. I think that's super important and very overlooked.
Beautiful, very true. Now, you work with clients to help them create lives and businesses around their passions. Could you tell our listeners a little bit about your business coaching way and what inspires your passion, Stephenie, for the work that you are being called to do?
Absolutely. So I really got into this line of work because I went through my own quarter-life crisis. I started pretty early at 21 and had just worked so hard to build a life that wasn't aligned with the truth of who I was. And the only problem with that was I didn't know who I was anymore. I lost myself in the process of going after success and achievement and material things. And so I really started trying to figure out who I was and what I wanted and what I was passionate about. All I knew was that I wanted to make a difference and I wanted to be doing what I loved and to work for myself. And so I really got into coaching very organically. And what I primarily support people with is the same exact thing. And people from all different walks of life, all different ages and backgrounds and family statuses, but people who have really lost sight of who they are somewhere along the way, and they want to reconnect to their truth. They want to reconnect with their intuition so that they can trust themselves to create the life that they want, and who really, really want to build a life and business around their passion. And a lot of people come to me starting off with just wanting to find their passion and then figure out that they are also very entrepreneurial, because it's so important, like you were just mentioning about the corporate world, it's so important that we're doing work that we feel is a contribution to the world. And so many people really, really want to be of service to others in a very specific way. So my work is really about helping people do that. And I'm not a typical life or business coach. I don't have blueprints. I don't have set in stone maps. I don't teach people to build what I have in their life or their work. I teach people to trust their intuition, because when you're really tuned into who you are and what you want, and you're able to listen to that tiny whisper or that roaring voice inside of you, you can't go wrong when it comes to building a life or a business or relationships around what really matters most to you.
That is so true. And I think that for the culture that I'm observing, Stephenie, we're listening. We're listening to that voice inside, because generally we've just stopped listening to what we really feel and want in our lives, and it's been quite an interesting season nonetheless. Now, you're talking about shifting mindset, which is never an easy job, because you don't shift your mind in a second. It has to be this continuous investment and this continuous contribution to oneself, and to shift it from a victim to one of a creator. I want to know more about that. How do we change that struggle, you know?
So there are definitely a lot of tools I use with my clients, and one of the biggest, most important ones, and the thing that I am most passionate about, is taking full ownership. And the term personal responsibility can be a very triggering word for a lot of people, because they associate it with blame. And for me, and for what I teach my clients, it's not about blame. one of the questions I developed, and I developed it for myself when I was first starting on this journey of asking, no matter what it was, what the situation or what had happened, what did I do to allow this to happen? And a lot of the times, that information, it can seem like upsetting information. It can seem like we're saying, well, what did I do wrong? And it's not about that. It's about taking an honest look at what you maybe did or didn't do that invited a situation or allowed something to man a certain way. And all it is insight and information. And whatever the answer is to that question, it's really awesome, exciting news, even if it sucks, because it gives you what you need to know in order to do things differently and in order to create change. And another really big piece of the work is choice and constantly choosing over and over again what it is that you want to create and to make those mindset shifts. And a lot of the times we start and we do it once or we do it twice, and maybe we do it for a week or a month. But when we don't see the instant changes and results, we give up or we get frustrated, or maybe we take a step backwards or we slip up. And it really is just a series of really tiny, frustrating, hard, difficult at times choices of this is what I want to create, this is how I want to show up differently, this is what I want to change, and this is who I want to be. And that's not easy. And I think that's a common misconception, is that I'm going to choose this thing and everything should go seamlessly, and I'm going to change my mindset and everything should be different. And it's not that way at all. It's hard and it's challenging, and it's really frustrating. It's not easy at all, but that's what it comes down to, is those tiny, simple choices every single day that I'm going to show up differently. I'm going to take ownership, and I'm going to commit to whatever it is that I want to create.
So tell us a little bit about the book, Awesome Life Tips. Has life always been awesome for you? And what are some of the few favorite tips that you could give our listeners, a little bit of a sneak preview?
My life has definitely not been awesome all the time. I actually am coming out of after one of the hardest years of my life. And so Awesome Life Tips, I started writing about 4 years ago, and it was really just a marketing thing. I was going to put a tip out every day, and it just became this movement of its own, where it's a daily tip that you can get by email or you can read in the book. And the tips are just a wide variety of tips around all the different areas of your life and how you can start to make changes or think differently. And they're tiny and they're simple, and they're just little ways of reframing things. And so, taking a positive look at a situation and looking for the things you can be grateful for. That's a very common thing we hear about, but it is absolutely powerful. And just ways you can see situations or relationships differently, questions you can ask yourself to start creating changes. They're free if you sign up for the email list, or the book is great too, but just little nuggets every morning. I actually subscribe to them myself as well, and that's not because I have a big ego. It's because they're very divinely inspired, and I consider them as much as my readers do.
You're cute. Well, based on your work, why is it that we have noticed, like you were sharing, that 2015 was a rough year, and I've heard this across the board, and yet we always plan for the future to be better than the past. So here's my million-dollar question. We had planned also in 2014 to make 2015 the best, right?
Yeah.
and things have a way of unfolding which we didn't write into the script. I've got a really powerful question, Stephenie, as we engage in this conversation to help our humanity. What is it that we're missing? That as much as we say to ourselves, I'm not going to do this anymore, I should have done it, I won't go there, my heart needs more time to mend, how could I have chosen this person, I shouldn't have made that investment. I mean, it all seems clear when we're making the decision. We all seem like we've got it in check. What do you think is responsible for it changing the outcome for us, where it's more of a challenge than a fortune?
For me, what I really, really learned, and it's something I thought I knew before this last year, but what I really learned with this hard year was trust, faith, and surrender are key. And so, yes, I sat down and I looked towards 2016 and I said, this is what I want to create and this is how I hope it will go and what I desire to feel and experience, but surrendering to the flow and surrendering to what life gives you. Because when you make a declaration to God or the universe or the higher power that this is what I want to create, you don't know what it will take for you to be able to create that. And so we get derailed by life happening, and we feel like it's happening to us, and everything sucks, and we don't know what we're doing, and we just go into that negative mind spiral when really it's about surrender and trust. And it doesn't matter if you're religious or not. trusting that everything is unfolding exactly as it should be, even when it's really hard, and especially when it seems like everything is going wrong. And that's the key piece, is that you are moving in the direction that you're supposed to go, but it might need to be a different direction than you think it should be. And you might need to go through something in order to become the person you need to be to create what you want to create. And so really just surrendering and learning to move with the flow of life and to walk through whatever you're faced with, instead of deciding that I guess I can't have what I want, so I'm just going to step back and be miserable. So trust, faith, and surrender for me, and it's something I'm really working on teaching my clients as well.
Yeah, that's a big one, because, again, I go back to that whole notion that we know that we shouldn't put our hand on the stove, but there's something in the soul that goes like, I need to feel this. And, you know, the repercussions of some of these choices can be extremely painful. And yes, they're teaching you something about yourself. Is it that it's teaching you to love without conditions? Is it that it's teaching us to see through the defects or the weaknesses of another? Is it about turning towards a supreme being and anchoring our consciousness in that energy, and then allowing that energy to facilitate its sense of self through us in others? Yeah, I keep asking these. We've been hearing the same thing over and over again. This happened to me, that happened, and we know that. It's happening. Like lately I was having a sense of somebody that I had concern for, and I told the family, I'm worried about this person. And sure enough, within a month, the whole domino impact took place. So it's like we know that there are things that are going to emerge, but is there a particular consistent tool that we can apply to our lives that it won't take us on that roller coaster of emotions? Any thoughts or ideas?
I would say yes and no. So the roller coaster of emotions is going to happen because we're human, and it's also essential. And I think that we shy away from those dark and hard emotions because we think they're bad and wrong, and they're not. They're really healthy and they're really important, and they take us deeper into ourselves in a way that nothing else can. So I think that those are important, and that needs to happen. At the same time, there are tools to make it less awful. So just staying present and staying present in the moment that you're in, and fully engaging with what or whoever is in front of you, so that you're not adding story, you're not adding worry and fear and stress on top of everything else that's happening right in front of you. And so really staying present, because a lot of the times we make things so much worse than they actually are when we go into our head or we go into the past or the future. And so just being present and tuning in and breathing and feeling yourself in the moment, and knowing that more often than not, in that moment, you are okay. Everything is fine. Everything is working out. Even if everything is just falling apart around you, or people you love are hurt or dying or whatever is going on, in that moment, you are likely okay. And so presence is definitely a big piece of that. And presence also ties back into whatever emotions are coming up for you, be present with them. Don't stuff them down. You know, this last year, I faced a grief that took the wind right out of my body and just brought me to my knees and cracked me open in a way I've never been cracked open. And I'm very grateful that I instinctually, whether it was from all the personal development work I've been doing or whatever, I instinctually knew that that grieving process was important, and that I was going to feel everything all the way through, even when it really hurt. And so remembering that, if you stay present, if you practice positivity and gratitude, if you trust me with faith, those things will ease what's going on. It will help you move through it with a little bit more grace. But it's still going to be hard. There's still going to be emotions, and those emotions are important, and they contain important information for you. And so being present with those and allowing yourself to feel them, even if it's anger or sadness or hurt, that's all important, and it's really, really healthy, and it needs to move through you so that you can move forward.
I love that. That's so well put. I think you've hit it on the nail right there, because it's still practical. We're going to roll over some karmic issues of the past, and it's just a matter of how we handle it when it shows up. Thank you so much for that. That was very beautiful. Hey, I've loved having this conversation with you, Stephenie. If you're ever in D.C., please come by and conduct something at the Meditation Museum. I think what you have to offer is very, very important for our community. Before I let you go, could you leave us with a favorite life quote that you're living by presently? presently, and the website that our friends could get a hold of you if they wish to.
I will start with my website. So StephenieZamora.com, StephenieZamora.com, or you can go to myawesomelife.mastery.com as well. Well, I think life is not about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself, and that's one of my favorite because, again, we're not victims. Life is not happening to us. We can go out there and make whatever we desire come to life.
That was beautiful, Stephenie. Thank you so much, and all the very best for 2016. Keep it awesome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Take good care. So it all has a way of manifesting and emerging itself in front of us, doesn't it? It's the way that we're showing up to the unfolding of life that is really imperative here, folks. It's going to be like Disney, smooth sailing, as they say in Hinduism, the golden age, or in Hindi, they call it Satyug. We are preparing ourselves for that time. All the things that we've learned and all the relationships that we've been through that have tested us and taught us about who we really are, and they've taught us to come back home to ourselves. Every breakup, every disillusionment, every disappointment brings you back to you and how good you are and how powerful you are and how awesome. You can please visit Stephenie at Stephenie, and that's StephenieZamora, ZAMORA.com, to find out all the good things that she's doing. And thank you so much for joining us on the air today. Remember, no one can take away your happiness unless you give them permission, and we are here to love each other the same. Don't forget to download the Pause for Peace app so you can keep up to date on all the incredible things that are happening. And if you wish to change the world, please change yourself first. We will end today's show with Love Being Here by Elijah Ray. Take care, everyone. All the very best. Bye-bye.